traffic. Everywhere clear.
The economy is getting tougher.
By the moment.
This is popular Lagos Street. You can see that the economy has negative effects on this community right now.
Money.
Your name, sir?
I'm Comrade Austin Osagare Umuabu.
Sir, we are here because of the economic situation of this country. We want to ask you some few questions as a man who has people around him and who also deal with the members of the public. What do you think is responsible for the present economic situation of this country right now, sir?
Well, thank you very much. The economy of a Nigerian is not dicey. It's telling on the masses. It's telling on every good citizen of Nigeria. And the economy of this country is nothing to write home about. It's because by our leaders. Our leaders, so the way we are looking at it as if our leaders are wicked because we have all the resources to put Nigeria to the stage that even a commoner can be earning 150,000 naira monthly. And you do not tell on Nigeria. So we don't know why the economic is telling on us. It's on Nigeria, our leaders.
I won't talk about the problem too, sir. I want you to respond to part of the question in terms of a solution. What do you think is the best or possible solution to the present economic development?
Well, when we are talking about the solution of economic in this country, it's like somebody who has a car of a Hilux. It's still the same person that went to hide it under the pillow and asking the children, go and look for my car key now, go and look for my car key. In a situation like that, it is only God that will come to our rescue. Our leaders know what they are doing. Our leaders should make the life of the citizen of Nigeria, they should make it easier for us to live. The hardship is telling on us. Our leaders know what to do. Go to other country when you see our leaders, they have refinery, they have companies, they have factories, different of all these things I'm talking about. If they bring their resources to this country, a commoner in Nigeria will be earning 150,000, and yet it will not tell on us. So the solution is our leaders. We pray that God touch their heart. We don't know the sin Nigeria has committed that makes us to be in this stage we are today. Even the sin that Sodom and Gomorrah committed, that Jesus Christ almost destroyed the whole Sodom and Gomorrah. It is not as worse as Nigeria. Today, Nigeria, we are not in a safe hand. We pray that God will help us. Imagine we are buying fuel for 630 naira. In 2013, we were buying fuel at the rate of 97 naira. From 2013 or 2015 till date, they've been able to increase more than 200%. That is wickedness. That is wickedness. They should remember, they should put God first. They should put God first. Because if they put God first, in all of these things they are doing, they won't be doing it. We are looking at it as a wickedness. All the leaders, they have their warehouse. They have their oil warehouse. They are storing it for their children. While we that are alive, they are grown up to meet them, that know what they are doing, we are suffering. Where do we continue? How do we continue from here? What is wicked?
So lastly, the very last one. What do you expect of the citizen in terms of response to this hardship?
The citizens have no option than to cooperate. Because if you watch what happened in Lekki Tollgate, where the leaders brought out Nigerian army to be shooting expeditiously on the citizen, that alone will tell you the citizens of Nigeria have nothing to do than to allow the way the leaders want to do it. They should allow them to do it that way. Otherwise, they will also release the army from the barrack to start shooting the innocent citizens. So anybody that hear of it, that witness it, will not want to witness part two of it. You imagine? We own Nigeria. We use our currency. We work hard to earn our daily bread. Few months ago, they locked our naira that they want to change currency. You know how many people, how many in Nigeria, how many citizens of Nigeria that died in our own money? There are some of us that had money in the bank, but our money could not be accessed. Is that no wickedness? Is that no wickedness? People are crying, release Emefiele, release Emefiele. They should not kill him, but you should also suffer what we suffer there. You should be there. Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for talking to Naija Watch. Hey, brother. Yeah. Your name, sir?
Chuka.
Okay. I guess a few questions I want to ask you. As a businessman, what do you think say is responsible for this present economic situation for this our country today?
Okay, no, that's what I not say they're responsible, our leader. Because if I just say fuel are the part of things so we take they survive for this country. As far as say fuel don't go up, so many things will go up. Like this our market now. I don't go use 27,000 naira go Lagos. I will come back or they sell at the same price what I sell before. So it will make the price of the market go up. And at the same thing we have for buying too now, the same people will still do. So now our leader now they cause her. So may they try do something about that.
You know, also things say even the citizens get part to play for this kind of matter where they deal with us as people for this our great country Nigeria. Say we the citizens get role to play to ensure say our leaders do what they're supposed to do, and also okay, yes, that is the direction. To make them put their toe on the ground.
We be get rules to play before.
Yes.
But this our leader for this country where we dey. If you like do everything what you want to, now wetin dey their mind they will still do. They get one saying where they say you can force the horse to the river, but you cannot force the horse to drink water. So, like wetin happen before, NSAS time, but the whole thing, the whole fight, the whole protest, everything make we make sure say we dey do am no be say we dey fight the government, but they do am make e be say make the government feel our pain. But still, wetin they still dey do, na they still dey do. So the masses we dey try to play our part, but the leaders they no dey wan lis ten. So na be there we get stubborn leader and wicked ones. So na be the thing.
Wetin you think say lastly, sir, go be the solution to this whole problem?
They say wetin dey disturb you for if na your hand go make you no go make heaven make you cut am off. The only thing when I see say na be the solution of this thing now this our new president make dem find how dem wan do am. If na him to quit or for him to resign, na be the problem wey we dey pass through now. So make who dey capable take over so that make we know whether things go be as normal as before. So I believe say na be the problem, because since when he come for going to 2 or 3 months now, all the masses dey cry, and which is e never be like this. Although say we dey face am before, but this one dey excess. So I believe say make he resign, make we dey capable and do get the experience take over.
Mr. Uche, thank you for talking to Naija Watch.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Good day, sir.
Good afternoon.
Please, can you tell us your name, sir?
I'm Honorable David Sokmo.
Okay. Sir, I actually want to ask you to talk on the latest development in Nigeria in terms of this subsidy removal by the federal government, the 8,000 naira proposed palliative by federal government, and now I think the federal government have also said that they are not going to give all the money to state governors so that they can use it to create wealth for their people. And the economy implication of all this?
Yeah, first and foremost, let's start with the subsidy removal.
Yes.
The subsidy removal to me is a welcome development. It's actually long overdue because if you look at it, some cabal in the country have been unnecessarily reaping from this issue of subsidy.
Yes.
We have been subsidizing fuel over the years. Particular refineries are not working. We keep importing fuel. The landing bill for the so-called fuel that is being imported is not even known to us. All we just know is that the subsidy is being paid. Subsidy keeps increasing. As at the coming of the present administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we were told that we were even spending up to 40 billion naira a day on subsidizing fuel. So actually, we actually felt very happy when he announced that very first that he was removing it. Really, if he didn't remove it that day, maybe by the time he would have seated there for some time, they would have sucked him into the so-called cabal arrangement, so much so that he would not have been able to remove it. Because over the years, we have been seeing our heads of states trying to remove, but they always keep drawing back. So it's a very bold step that he took this time to have removed it. But the only issue that we are talking about is how to cushion the effects on the ordinary people, on the ordinary Nigerians. Really, there are so many things, so many areas of intervention that the government can, in the interim, go into. While we are seeing the reconstruction or rehabilitation of our refineries as the permanent cure to it, by way of making sure that we get fuel produced in Nigeria that will drop down the price ultimately and eventually bring it to the range in which it will positively impact on our people. But in the interim, palliatives like intervention in so many areas, some of them he has already announced, and we, some of us, even on our own, recommended to him. Thank God he actually followed it to the letter. Only that he just added the flesh to it, because we suggested, first and foremost, you must intervene in area of mass transit. The government should provide vehicles, which he has already agreed that he's going to do. Then secondly, you have to make available loans also in the mass transit sector for big companies to be able to access and increase the number of their fleet. That one too he has also accepted to do. Then you also have the situation of farmers. Our farmers should be able to access loan so that they can go right into the bushes and produce their food. Because without food, we can really not have food security. And if there's no food security, it means we are going to keep having problems with insecurity and a host of others. Because when there is hunger in the land, there is increase in crime wave and some other things like that. So that issue too, he has also addressed in this palliative measure that he's bringing out, so much so that fertilizers, seedlings, and a host of others are going to be given out to farmers to improve, to actually improve the quality of production and the quantity of production from the farms. So there should be access road. That too, he was also mentioning access road, particularly in the rural areas, to enable this food to actually be brought out from the rural areas. Evacuation of goods, very, very important. So that's why the rural roads are very important for them to go into. Then coming to the educational sector, we are getting disturbed with increase in school fees, particularly in some of the universities and some of the higher institutions. I don't think that one is called for at this particular moment. While we agree that we will ultimately come to the area whereby the federal government can even hands off educational, owning universities and some other things like that. But we have not gotten to that stage yet. For now, they should still at least maintain the present tuition fees that is still being paid, so that the pains will not be too much on our youths and on our parents. So that of the removal or that of increase in school fees, I think is something that is a misnomer at this particular time. The issue of giving bursary should be revisited. Scholarships should be revisited. Then this laws is even talking of, that the government is also talking of to students. It's also very very important. So I feel that these are some useful ways that he had actually that the government of President Bola Tinubu actually is really intervening well. And these are the things that we keep talking about. Then the issue of green gas, that is
Green energy.
Green energy, very, very important. At least that will help to moderate, the price of fuel. Because by the time so many people are now moving towards green energy, you find out that they'll be able to power most of the gadgets that they have at home at relatively cheaper prices.
Yes.
So the issue of repairs of our refinery, we cannot run away from it. Though I said that that one is going to be a kind of a long-term something, but it is very, very important. Whatever we are now gaining from subsidy removal, some percentage should be going into the rehabilitation of our refineries, 4 refineries. If they are old-fashioned, if they are obsolete, they should be dismantled. New refineries can be set up. It doesn't necessarily mean the edifice. We can set up modular refineries, at least in the interim, to fill the gap of this issue of buying fuel, 100% from outside the shores of the country. So we should be thinking of putting refineries in place. It may not be those big ones, maybe the modular ones, so that all of us will be producing and will be adding it to whatever we are importing, and that will reduce the importation and also help to moderate the price. Because certainly there's no way we can be producing here and it will be higher than what we are buying from outside. So the issue of setting up refineries and rehabilitating the old ones should be revisited and visited very fast. Looking at issues of the iron and steel industry and some other things, I'm sure that I'm particularly impressed, because any country that says it wants to develop, there is no way you cannot have iron and steel. You produce it yourself. Nigeria is full of ingenious people. Nigerians are hardworking. Nigerians are intelligent. Most of our people are actually performing excellently outside the shores of this country. So these people can be harnessed. If we have iron and steel produced in this country, I see Nigeria actually going very far in the next few years, even getting to the level of these advanced countries. So the iron and steel sector that the Vice President went to the Soviet Union to see if they can revive, actually I feel it was a good step in the right direction. To me, I personally feel that the government so far have been taking some right measure. It should continue. The issue of giving money to the state government, some many of us frown at it. We frown at it because the state governors, they have not actually showed to the world that they are prudent with funds that are sent to them. They divert it for their personal use. The issue of the so-called palliative that we had during the COVID,
yes,
it's still very, very fresh on our minds. When Nigerians were actually shut out from going out to work, markets closed, people were hungry at home, the politicians that were coming were being shut up in stores. It's so pathetic. That is wickedness of the highest order. So that's the reason why some of us feel that the money they say they are passing through the state government should not be passed at all. The federal government should look for a way of using it to either procure vehicles, procure certain infrastructure facilities,
yes,
procuring things that have to do with grains and other things, then partner with the state government in doing it. Because most of them will at the end of the day not be able to account for the money that is coming through them. Some of them will play politics with it, particularly when it's getting to election period. So we frown seriously at the federal government passing money through the state government to the people because it will not get to the people. So we will want the federal government to actually come out with a model, a kind of say a workable arrangement with the state government by way of partnering them, as it has to do with doing, I mean, it has to do with reaching out to the people, but not giving money, cash to them directly. It can be done. So really, some of us actually feel that the government for now is doing fine. Nigerians should be patient. Nigerians should be patient. That is what we actually are still saying. Because the country have actually been destroyed for too long a time. We have allowed corruption too long a time to actually overwhelm this country. It is the effect of corruption that we are all suffering today because the system has failed in checking those who are corrupt. That's the reason why the issue of subsidy was removed. Otherwise, if the system had been able to check the corrupt elements in society, that big cabal, that small cabal that is responsible for why subsidy money have been growing over the years would have been checked by now. And subsidy would still have been in place because the money would have been spending on subsidizing fuel would have been still very, very minute. It is because the money had been increasing and it had actually been drawing so much from Nigerian budget. That's the reason why the subsidy was removed. So that's why we should appeal to Nigerians for us to be ready to somehow take some sacrifices. It's a good thing that the subsidy has been removed, but we should make for palliatives for our people to be able to bear the pains.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
A quick one, sir.
Yes.
Few weeks ago, barely a week,
Yes.
there was a coup d'etat in Niger Republic.
Yes.
And the Nigeria government and other ECOWAS leaders frowned at it.
Yes.
And to the best of my knowledge, they have military option as part of the option to restore the whole government.
Yes.
So do you think at this present time, Nigeria as a nation, to be involved in that kind of issue, while we have many pressing issues that is affecting us as a nation?
Yes, actually, if you look at the issue of the coup d'etat in Niger Republic, our next door neighbor here, it's something that is worrisome. And the reason why Nigeria should not fold its hands and begin to watch is because the coup syndrome appeared to be gaining currency in the West African sub-region. Niger is just the third one now. Who knows the next one again? And coup d'etat is anti-democratic. It's a kind of system of government that opposes democracy. That is in contradiction with democracy. So Nigeria should not should not sit back and just put its hand. There are other ways outside the military option that can be used in intervening in the matter. They can go into negotiation to make sure that these people leave office in the shortest time possible and ensure that another democratic system is put in place, is enthroned. Maybe those who are present, those who were actually heading democratic structure in Niger were corrupt, or they had one problem or the other, and that's the reason why the military now somehow rose against them, and people are now supporting the military for rising up against them. But all we know is that democracy is still the best form of government. Military regime have actually been in Africa for a very long time until eventually we started democratizing. So now, to get back again to military regime, it will take us several years back. So all we know is that the federal government, the Nigerian government, to be precise, is presently the head of ECOWAS. So as head of ECOWAS, certainly we have a very big role to play in ensuring that this spate of coup d'etat stops in Africa. And the only way we can stop it is to intervene as soon as it happens. But the military option can only come after that of the negotiation and dialogue has failed. So that's the reason why the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu led ECOWAS to first of all, engage in negotiation and dialogue. Then it is only when it fails that the military option can be considered. Because we cannot allow military regime to start rearing its head again. Because if you look at why the African continent is the way it is today, it's because of the military regimes that we have been having over the years. Apart from, let me say, Libya, that had a people-oriented government under Muammar Gaddafi, though he overstayed. And that's the reason why so many people were happy when he was removed, because he stayed for close to about 30 or 40 years in power. But he was people-oriented. If you look at other military regimes, particularly the ones we have been having in Nigeria, they have been looting the treasury. If you look at corruption in Nigeria today, it was entrenched by the military regime. And most of them are multi-millionaires. It's only in Nigeria that we started seeing people that started seeing military men who are multi-millionaires, billionaires for that matter. How did they get the money? They looted the treasury. The only difference between them and democratic government is that only few of them will be looting, while the majority could not have access to the money. So we don't want military regime any longer. So military regime is obsolete, it's outdated, and it's actually synonymous with underdevelopment.
Thank you, sir.
We don't actually want it in Africa, and we don't want it in Nigeria too.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thanks.
Thanks for talking to Nigeria Watch.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's my pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
Good morning, nice everything.
I'm doing great, sir. Your name, sir?
My name is Comrade Dixon Akobi.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Sir, I have a few questions for you. What do you actually think that is responsible for the present economic situation of this country, Nigeria?
Well, the present situation of this country is very, very, very bad. One, we said that we have a democracy. We don't have a democracy.
Okay.
We are really not a democratic nation. But the politicians, they know the way to do their ways onto the top. But that's not the way of the masses. The way of the masses are let justice prevail. That's what we need, and we need peace. We don't need war in this country. And the thing is also affecting the economy of this nation. Because the capital is the head of the world, of the big dues. So let them release it, let things flow. If things flow, the poor masses do what? We wake up, then we know what to do. We are not lazy. According to their ways, we are strong. The youth need to walk and wake up. So this is really like I have to say for now. I don't know.
How are you coping with business?
Well, the business, we are just managing the business. Instead of sitting at home, as somebody will tell you when you come back, they will ask you welcome. So you need to move on. Anything that come on, we buy gari, we eat and drink, and we thank God for the day. And it's only the grace of God. Everything we do now is by the grace of God. It's by the grace of God.
Sir, another question, sir. It seems that Nigerians as a people has been conquered. So how do you think the people can liberate themselves and begin to hold leadership accountable?
Yes, Nigeria as a nation has been conquered. If the masses, the citizens, can unite together and bring themselves together under one canopy, they will overcome their leadership. It's high time for them to stand. We call Nigeria as a giant country of Africa. But now the Nigeria is now as a result of little rat of Africa, because of the leaders. They use money to buy the citizen to fight against themselves, to dominate them and to sit upon their head. But if we citizens can stand up, we can make do what? Let them do what? We are the one that is taking them there. We can also do what? Put them under their seat. So they have no right to rule. Without you, amen, they cannot rule us. We are the mouthpiece of the nation.
Lastly, sir, do you think tribal bigotry, religious sentiment, and partisan politics is a divisional factor for Nigerians?
Yes.
Which the elite takes as advantage over them?
Truly, when you talk about the tribal sentiment and the partisan, all these things you have mentioned, it's really a big problem. Igbo don't like Hausa. Hausa don't like Yoruba. Yeah, you know, Delta don't like Edo. There is a settlement. It's not something of today. It has been from background from years back. But if we now can take into our bare hand that all these settlements, we should take them away, there's going to be peace. Now look at the issue of how do they call it? This registration. Where did you come from? You say you are from Delta, you are from Edo. That is a big settlement.
Factor.
Yes, it's a big settlement already. It's a big settlement. So if I want to get a work, you say, where did you come from? You say, I'm from Delta. You say, you are not qualified. You are from like this, you are not qualified. Because those are on seat, they are the real king maker. They are the northerners that is the one that don't sit. But if they can mix up the leadership, if they can allow inflow of leadership, everything will work together. We'll be in good shape in this country. The country is blessed. I can't lie for you. The country is well blessed. The country is well blessed. But those are leading the country, they are making the country, the city to go astray. So God needs to help us, and before God can help us, we need to help ourselves. God cannot jump down from heaven and do this. We youths, we need to get up. We should not allow them to use their money to entice us. Their money has nothing to do with us. We should speak out.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for talking to Naija.